Lee Sin, Corky, even to an extent. I mean, yeah, K'Sante does have dashes as well. So, I mean, so far, Poppy value is through the roof. And honestly, I was a little bit surprised that it wasn't being taken by MVK there with an Akali and Jarvan being shown. You can see Shogun playing deep in the pocket, knows full well that there is likely some attention coming his way, and Elio says, all right, bring it on, fellas. Trample, stack it up, flag and drag combo. Does he get the pulverize? No, it's just the headbutt. He survives for now, but not for long. It will be a 1-for-1 in the end, and all the while, those boy grubs going down. Cataclysm out. Shogun desperately trying to tank up here as best he can. No summoners to his name, but he will get a flash out of Doggo, if nothing else. 2274, no, okay, he's decided better of it. Unfortunately for Guri, there is support coming from CFO, Pengyan and Shadow up on that top side. It's going to be Shadow looking for an angle onto this jungler. Rest teleports in. Shogun, he finds himself in a world of hurt right now. That Flame Spitter doing bits to try and take down this little gyrocopter. And it's going to be a dragon taken by CFO. Ultimately, they just pick up where Guri left off. And now Shogun in a lot of trouble. Those Electro Harpoons hurting. But he's turning that damage back around. Dragon's Rage. The headbutt pulverized off the money. And it's going to be an absolute routing for CFO. Triple kill for Rest. That's exactly it. Tower's still going to go down, though, unfortunately. The biggest issue, it feels, for MVK this game has been the tempo. Unfortunately, some bad recall timing, some bad positioning, getting caught out and taking more damage than they should, leave CFO in a position where they can look to exploit, and there you go. It seems that Doggo may have done the same, but on the hunt, Pop still has the Ghost. Unfortunately for MVK, that it's not quite as fast as a Civet. It's doing damage, it's setting up for a push on the tower, but it's no longer the absolute base breaker that it used to be. You're not crashing it in, taking out tier 1 towers. If anything, you're just setting up for the inevitable push that will then take that tower after the fact. So I can understand more teams willing to give it over. Just a bit of a spook there onto CFO. They almost got caught with their pants down. But their Herald are going to be started up and driven in. Oh, what a push into the wall. Elio caught wanting as 2274 gets over the wall and slams the cow into the wall. No unbreakable will to keep him in it. That equalizer on top for good measure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that Rift Herald thrown down to apply extra pressure there, that was really, really well done by 2274. They got the Rift Herald, they got the first Drake, and now they're putting in that effort to get that second Drake. Shadow appears to potentially be soloing this as Cardi works on taking this top lane turret.
Yeah, absolutely. He's up there with support Guri, lurking around Shadow's jungle. But yeah, he's going to look to take Dragon number 2. The Soul is going to be a Cloud Soul, and that is a pretty important one as well. Arguably the most winningest.
Just, you know, you don't want to pop an ult for nothing, but CFO were able to turn that back and head to mid to crack that tier 1 turret with Rest waiting in the wings in case MVK do decide to go in, and it doesn't look like they will. Pengyan continues to trade. Oh, equalizer.
Equalizer on the Shogun's head, forces out the barrier. My lord. Oh, it just feels like we're brewing to a situation where it is going to be just one explosive fight to end things up, despite how the score is currently sitting, because a Fed Orianna catching on to multiple members of the command shockwave could be that difference maker. Guri has been caught out here. Shadow gets the flag and drag. Dragon's Rage to clear. Will hop over to the ward, but it's Doggo looking to receive. Forces the flash out as well, but Doggo, with that on the hunt and ghost proc, is going to run Guri down. Unfortunately, nowhere for the ever-mobile Lee Sin to go when it's Siva running him down.
That was crazy, the commitment out of CFO. They saw Guri and they wanted Guri. They got the flash, they got the ult, they got everything. Doggo also popping the flash, ghost, and ult to chase him down.
Is going to give away the game. They know that Shadow was up on this top side. 2274 as well has been incredibly mobile. Oh, this could be a bit grim. 2274 there. The Unstoppable goes out, but so will that Steadfast Presence. The slow coming through. Kratos does have a tower, will flash away. Does have the all-out if need be, but with Doggo here, that's the last thing I think you want to pop. That Sivir is hitting crazy hard, especially with the Flicker Blades done now as well. And it opts to teleport away.
Honestly, really good call. 4 members of CFO were topside. They wanted Kratos and that tower. So I think MVK did well to only give them that tower, as we see CFO now rotating to mid where MVK is starting to apply their pressure. However, Cardi's able to convert that cross map. It's just really good heads-up gameplay as we see a couple of MVK here sitting deep in enemy territory, trying to get a really good flank angle.
2274 is going in on Shogun. Headbutt pulverized combo comes out from Elio. Command Shockwave is big damage on a 2274 as the Dragon Rage comes out. Doggo's already gone. That is the power of this mid-game Corki. Shadow wants to try and make something happen. The Flame Spitter, my god, the damage coming out of Rest is just going to burn Corki away. Shadow falls, and ultimately it's a 1 for 3. Pongyon and Rest versus the world, and Pongyon will drop that ult, try and get himself away with the second usage. Hurricane Flip, and I mean, MVK, the damage coming out of Cardi alone is so massive. Teleport back in from Elio. Rest goes golden with that Seeker's Arm Guard all out. Pop. Rest now under pressure is going to be run down, and Cardi finds himself yet more. A big opportunity, and the headbutt pulverized sends Pongyon to death as well. Absolutely, but again, Pongyon back to side lane duty. MVK get themselves on the board with their first dragon, but CFO use the opportunity to start up Baron. It is going to be spotted with that Farsight trinket. Shogun in the rest of the crew here looking for the collapse. It's down to about 30% HP. Kratos over the wall. Keeper's Verdict does send Elio out, but that's not the person you really want to be sending into the wind. Massive command Shockwave, and Shadow's dead. 2274, you remember the shred of resistances that Baron now offers means that CFO were half the team they would have been otherwise in starting up this fight. Doggo and Rest to try and do it all. On the hunt is gone, as is the equalizer. Pongyon down from that mid-river, looking for an angle in, but Elio headbutt pulverized to try and delay his entry into this skirmish. They could mop up in a big way here. There goes Pongyon. Elio taking a lot of damage. It's a scary prospect. Pongyon into the back line for 1. Working for 2 with Doggo. Able to clean it up with Rest. It's a routing in the 3v5. They look to turn. They win the fight and get the Baron. Maybe, just maybe they do.
Billy, what just happened? Oh my god, they did it. Pongyon, Rest, Doggo, they were just poking, prodding. They were there maybe on a hope, but not only did they get the Baron, they took the whole team as well. What a massive turnaround.
They literally just punished CFO for the exact same thing. Baron shreds your resistances. That is how they win that fight. And then they say, oh, look, we'll just go jump in the pit. The 3 champions remaining are the 3 carries for CFO. A Rumble, and a Kali, and a Sivir. All of them who do phenomenal AoE damage. That was a crazy call from MVK. They win the fight. They could have backed off and reset, but the command shockwave was so big, completely denying Shadow any real counterplay. They kicked Doggo away. If they get Doggo, there's no way. I don't believe for a second there is any way that CFO actively contest this fight. But you look at it. Pongyon comes in, gets headbutt pulverized, not cleared out from the fight by any stretch of the imagination. And you look at the damage that Baron is doing. Jumps it onto Elio. 3 of them stack up for an ultimate there. And he shuriken flips over the wall to get away from the damage coming his way. And Pongyon almost single-handedly dissects MVK. This is a 3.5 item Rumble, mind you, without even a rabbit on. It's the Zonya's 3rd item, but he's got that 3rd mask brewing, so a lot of damage, a lot of shred, a lot of power. And Pongyon finds himself face-to-face with Kratos. Little does he care anymore. Inhib will go down mid. They will then likely look to turn their attention to the spot lane. Pongyon is just babysitting that cannon minion. So it should be only a matter of time before it goes down. But MVK were on the cusp of potentially making something of this. And there you go. 2 towers off the back of the Baron with 26 seconds left. It's a 5,000 gold Baron power play.
Absolutely. This is massive value for CFO. Win the fight, get the Baron, crack open the base of MVK.
Right now, Shogun has 3 and some change. Like, yeah, look, he's nearly at 4, but that is a massive disparity, and this is going to be Dragon Soul as well. CFO, Cloud Drake. Oh, that is terrifying.
To the Baron pit for a potential second Baron. MVK, they know, they're aware, they are on to it. There's 227.
2274, he's found Guri, jumping into the backside, Keeper's Verdict, going to clear them out. Yeah, okay, I'm not sure if that was the right call, but either way, he gets the targets to safety, jumping in onto Cardi, flag and drag back at the Kratos, he's looking for the all-out, but no, he's just been stunned into oblivion, and the Dragon Rage used onto Pongyon to get him out of the vicinity. Equalizer down onto Shogun and Cardi. That Electro Harpoon, so much damage, and it's going to be CFO just tightening the grip on MVK, closing the game out as they run it home. Massive stuff for the 2025 LCP champions. It looked a bit shaky, but they get it done.
CFO are back. That was such a solid win. That fight toward the end there felt like it could go either way, but CFO played it out really well.
Essentially, in fact, I think he does the exact same amount of damage as both Cardi and Shogun combined. Actually, no, not quite. 10,000 less. This is why we don't do maths on broadcast, but it might as well have been.
Absolutely. As Yumi is insta-locked. What is CFO cooking here? That could actually work really well. I think this is our first Yumi for the split as well, actually.
Looks like it's going to be a straight dragon for Grub's trade. CFO opting into the Grub sign. The thing is, Guri will look to pick up this Hex-Tech dragon.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely uncontested. They are on awards, so CFO do know that MVK are going for it, which is why Shadow feels so confident going for those Grubs. Obviously, Doggo and 2274 here just trading back and forth with Shogun and Elio as that Drake is just finished off, and they're going to take that recall and probably spend that gold that they have pocketed.
Yeah, Shadow is definitely here, and I think it's because they know that Guri is beeline to his top side, has the Yumus, so he's going to be even faster getting to position. Kratos does just jump away from that potential stun. Shadow looking to turn around to Guri. That's a decent chunk of damage, but Cardi teleporting in, looking for a kill onto Shadow. No clone to get away, and it's first blood going the way of MVK.
Elio and Shogun now here to step up, as we do see a whole lot of pinging coming down on this bot side Drake pit. It looks like they do want to...
Oh, the quickness out just for good measure. Pungyon there, 1 second gone the next. And Guri just absolutely evaporates the Taliyah. Shadow is there. They were looking for an angle to contest this dragon. As soon as Pungyon evaporates, that chance is gone.
Yeah, like, Pungyon was dead before I could blink, before I could react to that fight had even occurred. I was like, oh, I guess Pungyon is dead, as MVK close that out nicely and secure that second Drake for themselves. Cardi free firing away on this bot side tier 1 turret.
Between both the Varus and the Jace, there is going to be a lot of long-range poke coming out of this MVK roster.
Yeah, I really feel like they're going to be able to siege the base really well if it comes to it. They get the Baron buff. They head down as the Taliyah Weaver Wall comes through to cut off MVK. Kratos just going to sit there and respect it. Be like, yep, cool. How you going? Little bit of trading.
Yeah, Stride Breaker done, but Kratos without Eclipse now is not, absolutely not a meek individual. Public Execution, Elio now here, looking for that quickness, will land. Shadow looking in for response. Quickness, unfortunately, the stun out of rest holds Elio in place. And the second channel of the Cyclone is just going to cut Kratos on the heels. Unfortunately, not much more. Shogun being chased down by Doggo right now. Acceleration gate from Guri completely turns this Yunara on its heels.
Guri is an absolute sniper with that. Shogun Q here just to try and clear out the wave. As CFO put the pressure on, they've dropped the Rift Herald. They really want this mid-tier 1 turret of MVKs, as Elio is there to respond as well. I don't think they're actually going to get it. Just a healthy chunk of damage. As you said, not as strong, not as base breaking as it used to be. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how hard Guri is going to hit Rest when, you know, the inevitable massive team fight comes through and Rest has to frontline. As MVK take their third Drake, they are now on sole point for this game 2 here of this best of 3. And the Baron, which is now spawning at 20 minutes.
Shogun in the mid lane steals away that big raptor, keeping it for his own team. They're looking for an angle at the Kratos. Dominus pop, but you look at that damage coming out from Kratos. Has the flash to keep clear as well. My lord, this is a dicey game. And Cardi all the while, that prio that was afforded to him thanks to Guri, means that they take that tier 2 in the bot lane. Absolutely. That Rod of Ages takes over. Cardi now level 15, about to be level 16 on this rise. And that is going to be a very scary thing. 2 items deep. They're looking for the hunt on the Shogun. The Zoomies come through. And then, unfortunately, it's Elio and Cardi on the backside. So they need to be very careful. Cyclone to interrupt. But it's the Weaver's Wall putting it in the wrong place at the wrong time. Cyclone very disruptive in the massive damage turnaround onto Kratos.
And you know, CFO Doggo recognizing that, was able to dodge the poke and then jumped in.
Oh, he's in a dangerous spot, but the phase rush means he can get out. Guri looking for the turnaround. The slow comes out. They need that damage. The grand entrance rather from Elio means they pick up the kill onto Doggo. But Shadow still hanging around. Needs to respect this poke damage, but he's no slouch in his own right. Looks for the clearance. Pungyon's there. They haven't got the setup tools to jump over the wall. Now 2274 sitting on Shadow. Guri taking some damage. Needs to be very careful. Flashes away. It's mashed by Shadow. And both teams on the hunt looking. Oh, Chains of Corruption. Don't connect under Pungyon and Rest. Down in the bot lane. Playing these waves. It's very odd. 5-kill game at 23 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And neither side wanted to walk away from that fight. There was engages, re-engages, runaways, and jump back into that fight. As we go to this replay here, I would argue that they do have to contest it. Otherwise, MVK is going to secure themselves that Cloud Soul, which makes 2 Cloud Souls in a row.
Absolutely, but I think MVK happily able to look to transition that into the tower and mid lane. They don't need to force the Dragon Soul there. They've got 3.
I dare say that would have done at least 50% of a Yumi's health bar. And Doggo's just left in the mid to push this mid tier 1 turret on his own.
Doggo gets it. Shogun, he's not all that far behind, but there is, again, a pretty...
And Pungyong are going to take this turret, and then they're probably going to rotate down to mid where we see most of MVK as we see Cardi going.
Yeah, Realm Warp in does get out the Weaver's wall.
Yeah, and I mean, Pungyong walking over that vision. Now MVK know that CFO are going for it. I really hope we don't get a repeat here. Is that
Shadow.
poke from Guru?
Shadow takes some big damage, popping execution on the back line. The exhaust coming out on the Kratos, but he's trying to draw that attention away from the Baron Pit. Blast pot cone is used. Now it's Kratos, slowed up and in trouble, jumps back in. Big damage coming back in response, but they just can't get there to seal the deal. It's going to be Shadow going down, the Rune Prison connecting, but that's all they can get. Jungler for top lane.
MVK, rightfully so, seeing this opportunity, have pulled the trigger on the Drake. Rest is in the area, though, so let's see if he can do it.
Weaver's wall's there, but all it's going to do is cut off the retreat. Chains of Corruption do connect. The grand entrance means that Rest is going nowhere but the grave. He'll make someone a lovely pair of boots that you want to be in the back lines of, because that collapse is going to hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, goes pop. Elio, he's looking for an angle. Quickness goes in. They spot Doggo. Jumps in. The grand entrance is off the money, so he gets over the wall. Bobbling execution from downtown. Kratos, what a catch, and that's Doggo off the riff for 45. Realm walk back to the Baron Pit. MVK transition. A massive opening. But they then have the Realm walk back towards the Baron Pit. They take that control. They take the Baron. And they have taken even more control. Rest has been found. Pops the Dominus to try and get away. But you look at the damage coming out from Cardi and Guri. And they take the Croc out once again.
That's it. We've got the boots. Next, we'll probably get the jacket as we see them pushing their Baron advantage in that mid lane. That cannon minion just doing so much work on that tower right now. So it'll be interesting to see how much value MVK can get out of this Baron power play. Currently, they're already up at 2,600 gold, and they've still got 2 minutes of this. I don't know, Doggo, if you want to get into a poke war with Guri, as we see some base skirmishes starting up.
Yeah, I mean, he's working his way towards that Guardian Angel, has the Edge of Night. All the while, Kratos in the bot lane has babysat the wave into that inhibitor tower. We'll get the inhibitor to boot. So once again, everything cracking wide open. My lord, Shadow eats nearly 40% of his HP off that accelerated shock blast, and these skill shots do not stop. All the while, Cardi again, they've just been manipulating the wave state into a position they can take the entirety of these outer towers in the base.
Yeah, absolutely. MVK have pushed those waves in very, very well. As we see Pungyong try to Weaver's wall.
Oh, my lord,
and cut
Weaver's
them off.
wall, and he's punished for his audacity. Eats an accelerated shock blast.
Oh.
My god, the piercing arrow even back on the Doggo. He's picked up that bloodthirst with the Realm Warp coming in. Kratos is no longer on his island. He's got support coming in, and you can see TFO desperately running, fully identifying that the Sharks are circling right now. Piercing arrow does just miss on the top side of both Rest and Doggo. You can see they're just sending these skill shots in. Pungyon there looking for the seismic shove onto anyone. Quickness is not going to be available, but a single grand entrance could be that difference maker if Elio finds the angle. These towers being chipped away at, flashed out of that seismic shove means that Pungyon can't find anything. Chains of Corruption. It's Mikhail's down as 2274 tries to keep the hope alive. It's a single tower on that Negs. Is it all the chip damage? Shadow jumps forward, runs back. There is no ultimates bar. The public got execution available on the Rift. The Doggo needs to be careful. Seismic shove, flash play. It's not going to be enough. I don't know who's teleporting in. Rest just wants the shield, but it's immediately dead and gone, courtesy of that Serpent's Fang from Shogun. They're looking to close it out here. CFO watching their base fall to shambles around them. And MVK with the slow choke out, it accelerates suddenly. That's a clone, but it doesn't matter. They've walked through CFO's base, taken them for everything and more. Curry hanging on by a thread, and MVK tie up the series. Those accelerated shock blasts were absolutely, I mean, that's like a gut punch, honestly, with how much damage it was doing. Oh. Okay, it's finally made. I did wonder if it was going to make its way onto the Rift in the LCP, because it is something that has been talked about somewhat quietly. You know, no one's screaming it from the rooftops, but it has been talked about.
Was an absolute menace, extremely proactive, initiating a lot of fights. So it will be interesting to see if Shadow intends to replicate that performance.
Has the flash, but he's going to be rooted up. Teleport coming in as well, but it's a Grand Starfall in the backline. 274, great hook there. Death Sentence lands onto Shogun, and they're trying desperately to fight this. Pungyon connects the Scatter of the Week, but it's Unleashed Power landing on the Israel. No, actually, it was just a Dark Sphere. He has the follow-up, and it's both bot lane duo from MVK getting eaten by Pungyon. Now, the response from CFO is so severe, a 3-for-1 trade.
And speaking of kills, Pungyon, with that TP down, was able to secure the first blood for themselves, which nets an extra 100 gold. And they got the second kill. As we see Guri get a dredge line in.
Oh, there you go. Zeke Sherald getting its maximum value. The flash there, but because of the slow coming out of Guri means that he can't clear the distance. Sakati finds himself a kill back, but it's the Hex Flash going out from 2274, looking for an angle in on Shogun, but that angle does not present itself, unfortunately. Not all that much in the grand scheme. I think really Kratos just happy that he gets out of that alive. Shadow now coming in. That may change very quickly. The shield assault, the Aegis follows it up. That shield vault stun is such a problem for so many members of this.
So the boots actually move away into a 7th slot, freeing up your other 6 for more items.
Oh, Pungyon's been found again. Depth charge going out, just clipped by the gravity. Well, it's a lot of stuns chains coming through. That dredge line connects, and it's going to be the true shot barrage, handing a kill for free over to Shogun in the end there.
Sorry, the first Drake is still on the Rift, and we are at 13 minutes. They do have wards in there, both MVK and CFO.
Rest is looking for a scrap here. Grand Skyfall comes in as well. Unfortunately, all Kratos can do is sit there and eat it. There's just nowhere for him to go. And it is that slightly more aggressive build. Eclipse first on this Aatrox.
It will be a slow take. So CFO do have time. They're TPing in. They plan to contest this.
Oh, absolutely. Shadow's here, and they're going to jump on it around the 2k mark. Is this going to be a potential smite steal? Rest is here, and it is going to be Shadow taking it. Flashing away from the death sentence. The shield bolt connects, but the play comes in. True shot barrage. Not going to need a heck of a lot right now. First kill down. It's Guri off the board as that Chaos Storm. Chipping away at 2274. He takes a lot of damage. Shogun forced to cleanse himself out. But you can see on the hunt, Scatter of the Week does land. Now Rest is going to start snipping away at Kratos, but he's healing through a lot of this. He dashes over the wall. Cardi caught by yet another death sentence. The gravity well slowing things to play. Can they get anything at all? The Scatter of the Week does land, but yes, Cardi will get his one. And the trade does go ultimately in favor of this CFO roster.
Yeah, definitely. Really good way for CFO to close that out. 1-for-1 as we go back to live.
2274, he's been found here. Elio and Shogun looking for something, but it's Doggo coming in for the wings. Grand Skyfall does land, and oh no, Elio's in a lot of trouble. MVK just going to have to route out and get as much away as possible. I don't know if they can survive True Shot Barrage. That's some decent damage, but Guri might just be given over to the Wolves. The Chaos Storm lands. It's just not enough damage in the end to sustainably turn this around, and CFO brute force their way in for a Herald.
Yeah, look, these team fights are definitely going in the favor of CFO here as Shadow secures that Rift Herald for that jungle objective. It is good to see the scrapping, this fighting coming out of MVK and CFO, but right now I almost think it's a Shadow diff, just always they're able to turn those fights around with that Grand Starfall ult.
There is potential for this to swing back into an opportunity, but I'm still not 100% sold on this Israel pick, unfortunately. And Doggo fighting in the face of Shogun under his tower.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see it, MVK collapse here.
Line does land, but it's looking for the turnaround depth charge. In on the back lines, they find a big kill onto the bot lane duo of CFO. Can they get more? The answer, unfortunately, no. As Shadow just able to walk it away, and all the while again, Rest, CFO playing these side lanes perfectly.
Yeah, Guru's depth charge onto 3 there as well really helped that CC lock them down and ensure that they would get that fight. Guru, however, might be in trouble here.
Guri is. He does not have the flash to get himself away, so he's going to have to try and run it out. Does get the aftershock proc, but again, this series has been caught and is taken down by Doggo. Very unfortunate series of events. We'll be back up before the dragon spawns, but yes, you'd rather not that gold not go to Doggo.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, Guri is 0-4-5 at the moment. That he is the person with the most deaths on MVK's team, so not as tanky as he would like to be just yet. That Rift Herald crashing into the mid-tier 1 turret of MVK. CFO are going to force this one down.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to clear that tower out. Not very often that we see the Herald taking out the tier 1 towers and then finding to crash into the tier 2, but they do just that. Pungyon being run at by Cardi here, some good damage, but the Scatter of the Week does land, sidestepping out from that gravity well, forced to flash from the Chaos Storm. And Cardi really coming into his own on this Victor.
Yeah, absolutely. Cardi is definitely not to be underestimated. That Rod of Ages stacked up to level 7.
Great Skyfall, the redemption. Oh, the flash from Shadow gets him in. Dredgeline, is it going to be enough? I don't think so. There's no damage support coming in. It's just a tank Nautilus. Kratos is here finally, but he's dissuaded by the Flay. There is so much going wrong. Rest comes in with that needlework, and it's a complete wash of a fight. There is nothing doing here for MVK, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kratos was in the middle of them all, and he had to flash away because the turnaround from CFO was, and Rest!
Just walks back in, takes the last little bit of damage from Rest and falls.
It was a very late first Drake take, so it's unlikely we'll actually get to the soul, whatever it may end up being this time around, as Shadow has showed up to finish it off as well. It looks to be a Chemtech Drake. Chemtech Soul. Absolutely, yeah, that Storm Razor, that Infinity Edge. Aphelios is going to be hitting like a truck. Pungyon with that Crypt Bloom as well. Lots of items being finished and completed right across the rift here. Shadow being a bit cheeky here, just trying to steal away the camp.
Scatter of the Week lands. Shogun has to get himself out. Luckily, Elio has a big shield for him. Is that empowered? Yeah, I believe it is. That goes out. Oh, my. Oh, okay. Elio just nearly died. He was at a very dangerous spot. Chaos Storming in the backside. Cardi is on the chase. Kratos as well coming in from the wings, but he's been spotted. They know. They just spell blood in the water. The only problem is it's just 2274 that's bleeding. The rest of the team is healthy.
Remains to be seen. It will happen eventually. They do have that 6,000 gold lead as Rest goes in for Kratos and Shadow's here.
Oh, that World Ender does not quite do the healing that you'd need. He is just eviscerated. Level 15 on Rest. He is large and in charge. And Shadow's no slouch either.
Yeah, look, I know we were saying that Rest is a stable top laner, not an explosive top laner, but reliable and stable. But right now, Rest is definitely being the top laner CFO needs him to be to take over and really put Kratos down and win this game for them. I would almost say that Rest is the win con here. Yeah, absolutely. And that True Shot Barrage just to help clear that minion wave. Doggo tidily dances away from it. MVK showing in the mid side.
Oh, Grand Sky for the backline. TP coming through. Rest has to run his way into the party, but 2274 going to die before anything go down. It's Shadow tanking that Chaos Storm. They found an angle on the Doggo. That's 2 quick kills. Can they find more? Shadow has been locked up by Guru. The Unleashed Power is not going to be enough to finish off this big bulky Nautilus. And it is a 3-0. The ping's coming down for the Baron. Can Rest and Pungyon do it again? Can they hold off MVK in the Baron pit?
I don't actually know, but I can only hope that they would be complimentary of that fight there because MVK just stomped
Cardi,
CFO.
buddy. The minions are there for a reason. He just tanks 2 tower shots. I suppose. Look, keep the minion wave alive. It means you can do more damage to the tower, I suppose, in technicality, but probably less than ideal in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, he can just sit out of the range, just giving over free damage. Why not? You know, Cardi is feeling himself at 314 and 40 CS above your counterpart.
Red Skyfall, they're looking for that angle in onto Cardi. 2274 is going to be there. Gravity well goes down, and unfortunately, this might be a death sentence onto Cardi. It is, in fact, but it is a death to boot. Going the way of Doggo, just a little bit too keen. And this Hunger online now with the Shogun. So he's going to be cycling through these abilities pretty darn quick with that ability haze to Rest. Both top laners now level 16, getting that slow out onto Kratos. Redemption here, trying to help Kratos, the god of war, stay alive a little bit longer. Scraping onto the box side. Guri has been caught as well. This is a very, very bad spot for MVK. Dredge line out to try and give him some distance, but the scrapping continues up the river as they are chasing MVK down. The teleport out. Pungyon, he gets the stop, he gets the stun, and will get the kill onto the jungler of MVK.
And it will probably all reset before the next big fight in around a minute's time. As we see a skirmish
now,
break
they're
out
looking to make something of nothing. Cardi gets caught by the needlework. The slow's coming through. The scan of the week as well. Going to land onto the back and forced to flash away. Death Sentence lands onto Guri. He's not quite as tanky as he appears on paper. And they've taken out the jungler of MVK. It's going to make it a little bit harder for MVK to get through them. And I mean, it's not the best Dragon Soul by any stretch of the imagination, but they are for sure going to be able to get value out of it. These fights going longer is definitely not going to help MVK by any stretch of the imagination. But you look at it, 16 across the board for everyone, pretty much, except for mid and bot lane of CFO, the bot lane and jungle of MVK. Teleported to the back lines. That is going to be Rest coming in. Grand Skyfall. Shogun flashes away in its shadow. Well and truly in no man's land. They're hunting for Cardi. No arm guard. No Zhonya's. Cardi's just going to get ripped to pieces. The Guardian Angel procs, but it's not Shadow done just yet. He's going to revive and carry on the hunt. That is a big source of damage now gone. Rest as well, taking some big punishment, mostly at the hands of Shogun right now. But a 5 versus 4 that might enable CFO to go for this dragon, but there's not a heck of a lot of confidence there. It's just going to be vision clearing. They walk their way in, and they're going to look to start it up. Guri alive could make a hero play.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, MVK still has their jungler. Shadow also under 50% as this Baron ticks down. We've got to remember that MR and Armor Shred will be ticking away.
Pungyon doing his best to keep him away. What a great stun there. Scatter the Weak lands onto Elio. That's a significant source of support now gone. Death Sentence lands Guri. He's evaporated. And then Rest comes in on the back line. Scatter the Weak. The cleanse does nothing but prolong the inevitable. It's on Kratos, the Worldbringer, is not going to end anything but his own life. It is a false sense of security, a blanket, but nothing more. And CFO take the fight, and they will claim the Baron.
Just watching Rest there as well, gatekeep Kratos out of that fight, and then convert that gatekeeping into coming into the back lines and monstering Elio, and then chasing down Kratos to finish off again, was really, really impressive zoning there from Rest. Rest is having an absolute barnstormer of a game here, and you love to see it as CFO siege the top lane of MVK, while Shadow is working on pushing in that mid lane against Cardi, and the rest of the team is rotating, looking for more. I mean, that Baron power play just hit 3,300 gold already. Obviously, CFO want to maximize the value. They've only got another minute left.
Guri's done. The Grand Skyfall comes in on the back line. The Gravity Well is there to meet it, but they've taken what they were looking for. Tower down, inhibitor follows. Rest just sort of stuck into the thick of things. Has that Rabadons, has the Seekers. So if he gets jumped on, can get himself away, but he's looking for a cheeky recall, and Kratos can't get the chain off to stop him. Guri looking to clear up the minion wave with the rest of the team, and it's CFO who will step back to start this dragon up. That fast sight trinket, going to give them the vision they need, but Pungyon gets the scatter of the week there, looking to try and find the damage to clear Guri out of this fight, so he can't go for it, but they've just wiped the dragon off the face of the planet. Depth charge out into Pungyon, but it's not going to matter. Unleashed power, the execution from the Elder Drake does land, and now MVK scrambling. It's not going to take much to finish off Elio. You can see Rest beeline to Kratos, and Doggo aggressively flashing forward. Moonlight Vigil does not land. Shadow has targets in his sights. Elio needs to be very careful, but CFO going to walk into the base, and Kratos, World End, it does pop. But there's nothing he's been able to do in the face of this monstrous Gwen in the hands of Rest. Needlework out just for good measure, Cardi. It's the last-ditch effort of MVK to try and survive. Shrouds down. CFO come back strong and close the series out over MVK.
CFO came, they saw, and they conquered here tonight. 1,000 damage from that Ezreal, but it didn't feel like it had that much of an impact.
It really didn't, unfortunately. It is just, again, this sort of falsehood because you're setting those skill shots out. Someone is bound to walk into them.